Hello and happy Saturday afternoon to all of you out there, wherever you are and whenever you may be listening. Today's WKMC TV broadcast is a District 4 Class AA semifinal matchup between the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes and the visiting North Penn Mansfield Panthers. I'm Jim Lesko. Alongside me is my good friend, coach, and colleague Joe Verano, and of course, as always, beloved Mount Carmel icon and statistician Jose Gonzalo. And we are coming to you live from the Jazz Diminick Field at the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, where the Panthers look to do something that not many teams have had success this season, and that's knock off these 9-2 Red Tornadoes. At this point, the Panthers are the only thing standing between the Red Tornadoes and a return to the district championship game. But now that'll be a tall order for the for the Panthers, as Mount Carmel was on a 6-game win streak in which their defense has given up only 26 points. North Penn does, however, Joe, employ an offensive style that has the potential to give Mount Carmel fits.
That's correct, Jimmy. North Penn Mansfield, their offense is this run-pass option, which is something similar to what North Schuylkill would have ran against Mount Carmel. That was the last time Mount Carmel lost. They had some trouble guarding that run-pass option from North Schuylkill. Their quarterback had a big game against us. So could be a tricky game here on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what we're going to have here, Coach, is we're going to see the North Penn Mansfield Panthers look to spread the Red Tornadoes out. They're going to try to keep their big receivers. They have a couple big guys, get them on islands with the Red Tornado defensive backs and see if they can make anything happen in the alley. I think the Panthers, they've traveled a long way today, but they understand that, they have a tall task in front of them. So here at the stadium, we're going to stop and pause for the national anthem. And once we get back, Joe's going to set us up with the keys for the games on both sides.
We ask all to remain standing for the Mount Carmel area All One to be played by the Big Red Band and our national anthem, which will feature MCA vocalists Samantha Darrett, Ainsley Fegley, and number 60, Chris Eamon.
All right, so we're back up here in the booth again. Myself, Jim Lesko, Joe Verano, and Jose Gonzalo on this sunny, cold, brisk Saturday afternoon for District 4 semifinal matchup between the Red Tornadoes and the North Penn Mansfield Panthers. Coach, before we went to break, we talked about what you thought the keys to the game might be. So what do you think on both sides today?
Well, first of all, for Mount Carmel, I think the first key is going to be establish the run. I talked to Coach Dara for quite a while yesterday in school, and he thought that was going to be a really important part of the game, that Mount Carmel can get out, push them around up front, and really establish the run. Defensively, we kind of already talked about the run-pass option from Mansfield's offense, so they're going to have to be really disciplined on defense and check their keys and make sure they stay home and check the right reads. And I know it sounds silly, but you got to know who has the ball. And I also think they need to focus on this week. Everyone anticipates Southern Columbia, Mount Carmel District Championship game next week, but that doesn't matter if you don't win today. So they got to stay focused and take care of business today. And for Mansfield, for their keys, it's going to have to be score often. We're anticipating that Mount Carmel's going to be able to score, put some points up on the board today, but can Mansfield move the ball? Are they going to be able to score? Are they going to be able to score enough points? They're going to have to be physical. It's a long trip down here. It's a different type of football sometimes that's played up in the northern tier, so they're going to have to be really physical up front and keep Mount Carmel's defensive line and linebackers out of the backfield. And they're going to have to stay in the moment. And this is a big day here. This is a semifinal matchup in District 4. They've traveled 2 hours down here. They're at the Silver Bowl. Can they handle the moment? I think that'll be a big factor in today's game.
Joe, I think you hit on everything that's important in today's game, and I think it's going to be exactly what you said. But I know there's a burning question out there asking, when was the last time Mount Carmel played a game on a Saturday afternoon, especially a playoff game? And we talked about it before, and it was back in 1997 in that District 4 semifinal with South Williamsport. And the last time we actually played a day game at Mount Carmel was Pius X in 2001. So it's been a long time, and I think everybody that's here is enjoying the atmosphere. If the wind would stop, I think we'd have a great day.
Saturdays are tough. I'd like to make this point, too. I've been coaching for a long time. I played. Jimmy, you were a player. Baseball player. Those Saturday morning, afternoon games are different. It is not Friday night. The kids are not in their regular routine, and I think that makes a difference. Historically, teams I've coached or been on, we did not play well Saturday afternoons, and it's just different for the kids. Their routine's different. They're not up early. They're not in school, and they had an extra day of practice. So things are different, and it's tough when you're used to playing under the lights Friday night. This is totally different atmosphere, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yep, so perhaps in an effort to get themselves back in a rhythm with winning the toss, the Red Tornadoes are going to defer, and we're going to see that standout defense first. The Panthers will be receiving and therefore defending the south end zone. The Red Tornadoes defending the scoreboard. Jack Chapman, number 44, he'll be doing the kicking off as he has been since week 2 or 3. Back for the Panthers is going to be number 20, Noah Spencer, and 21, Brian Magecic. Chapman's kick, it's a low, wobbly one, and that's going to roll out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So there's going to be flags all over. It's a tough start for the Red Tornadoes.
So we talked about it a little bit before we came on the air, but the field conditions are tough. It rained quite heavily for the last week and a half. Jose, you were down on the field before the game. You said it's pretty soft.
Well, it looks really good, Joe, from up here, but down there there's a lot more give to it than you would think. And we have a couple of tender ankles and a couple of tender knees, and that won't be good. We'll have to really pay attention to what's going on.
So the Panthers come out, and we'll see two variations of their offense. It'll be a trip split like they have now. 3 receivers split out left to quarterback Brent Burley. 1 receiver split to the right, and he's got number 36, Micah Cobb, to his left, and it's going to be a handoff to Cobb, and he's going to not get too much. He'll pick up a yard or two. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 36.
That looked like Anderson was in on the tackle. A couple things to point out here. Looks like Ayers is back on the field at linebacker, and Karicki is also back. So it looks like Mount Carmel's back to full strength, which will be important for the Red Tornadoes today.
Same look for Burley, for the Panthers, save Cobb is going to be on Burley's right this time, and they're going to hand it to him again, and he's going to go down. He won't make it back to the line of scrimmage. He'll go back down to the 35. It'll be 3rd and 8 here at the Silver Bowl. 3rd and 10, check that.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Nick Troutman. He's our leading tackler, right in through, and he looks like he's following the tailback. Quarterback there does have the option to keep that and throw it, or hand it off, or run it himself. So it looks Mount Carmel able to get some pressure early.
This time Burley's got a running back on both sides, and it's going to be handoff to Cobb. He's going to go to the right side, and he's got nowhere to go again. There's a lot of red jerseys there. He's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. He'll bring up 4th and 10.
Really nice job there by the defensive front for the first 3 plays for Mount Carmel, not giving Mansfield an inch. I think there's an important stop early, so Mount Carmel will get a 3 and out. They'll get the ball back. They want to assert their dominance on defense early, and that's a good stop for the Red Tornadoes.
Number 64, Ian Lazowski, is going to be doing the punting for the Panthers, and it's a low punt. It's going to be fielded by number 14, Demko, and he's moving to the right. He's got a couple blockers in front of him. He's trying to get to the sideline. Now he is up the sideline. He's across the well into Panther territory. We'll see where they mark him out of bounds. It's going to be at the 37-yard line. So the Red Tornadoes will start their first drive here at the Silver Bowl in plus territory.
Yeah, nice block there by Michael Hood and some of the others. Mount Carmel 3 and out. Nice return. Special teams, a little odd early. It looked like Chapman might have slipped a little bit on the kickoff. Mansfield had some trouble, so we don't know with the wind, with the field. That could be a factor too, and we've seen it already.
The Red Tornadoes will come out in their shotgun double wing. We've seen it all season. This is what we'll see all night.
That must be tough for Mansfield to prepare for this. If it's a unique offense, it's something they probably haven't seen.
Ayers across the formation of Reisinger. He's going to take the pitch, and he's got some room on the side. He's got Daukus in front of him. Daukus is going to get a blocker downfield. Ayers is going to pick up a first down and more. He'll be out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Sorry, make that the 23. Going to pick up about 14.
So Ayers didn't play last week. He was rested. Looks good early. I did notice Reisinger kind of did, after the pitch, he kind of fell down, and then he was nowhere near the plate. So the middle of the field, both like horizontally and lengthwise or whatever, the middle of the field seems to be the toughest part. Mount Carmel a little bit past that now, so it might be better off here.
Same look for the Red Tornadoes. Daukus and Widener in the wing. Ayers is to the left. Now he's going to come across the formation. It's the same play to the right side. Ayers is looking to pick his lane, and he slips down at the right around the line of scrimmage. We'll see if they give him any forward progress. It'll be pretty close. Pick up a yard, 2nd and 9, as we cross the 10-minute mark here in the first quarter.
Yeah, same play. This time coming to our side. Ayers just slipped. I mean, it's going to be like that for both teams. So
2nd and 9 for Mount Carmel area.
No score here early at the Silver Bowl. The Red Tornadoes on the move, 2nd and 9. Reisinger motions. He moves Ayers to his right. He's got Daukus and Widener to the left. Chapman and Wills in the tight end. And this time it's going to be the inside handoff to Widener. And North Penn was ready for that one. It's going to be 6-6. Fisher Vandriff on the tackle.
Yeah, it was a nice job by Vandriff getting up inside. That's a play that Mount Carmel's had much success on all season, especially last week. We saw North Penn trying to kind of practice that before the game. Their coaching staff had really anticipated that Mount Carmel would be running that, and they did a nice job.
Joe, if you look, they have 9 guys in a box. They're just daring us to throw the football. And I guess with this win, they think they have that on their side as well. But it'll be interesting to see what we call right here.
Same look for the Tornadoes, and they are going to throw it. Reisinger, and he's got Chapman in the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown. And just like that, a 21-yard hookup from Reisinger to Chapman. The Red Tornadoes are on top 6-0.
Well, there's a flag. Well, I was just, Jose, you stole it from me. I was about to say, are we going to see a pass early, or we're going to try to run it twice?
Well, the way they were playing the defense, Joe, we had to throw the football. I mean, they're just daring us to throw.
And that's going to be a hold against the Red Tornadoes.
So late?
We'll see if we can catch anything here on the replay. It is going to be a hold against the Red Tornadoes. It's right at the line of scrimmage. The flag was thrown, but again, that was seemed to be thrown well after Reisinger had let go of the football.
Yeah, it did seem very late. We didn't notice it until afterwards.
So we'll take those 6 points off the board, and it went from 6-0 Mount Carmel to third and about 20. we'll see if Coach Darrow opts to dial it up again. It'll be the same look again. Chapman and Wills in the tight end position. Reisinger sends Ayers in motion, and he's going to roll, and we got another stoppage again here. Another flag on the field. See where this one's going to go.
Movement?
There's only a couple things that can be being called that early, and that's what we're going to have. A little movement. The Red Tornadoes moving the wrong way and doing so in a hurry. It'll take them all the way back to the 44-yard line.
I was going to say it could have been in 4-down territory. Now, I mean, now I don't know. So that that kind of limits what you might want to do offensively for 1 down when you have 2.
Back at the 39, the line to gain is about the 14. And Reisinger is still going to throw it. He's going to roll to his left, and he's going to heave it in the direction of Wills, and he overthrows him a little bit, incomplete there. So that took a turn quickly for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, I still think they look pretty good offensively. Ayers slipped on that one. That's going to happen today. They did connect on the pass play, so we thought the wind would be a factor. Weren't sure if teams were going to be able to throw the ball. I think Mount Carmel will be able to throw. Mansfield hasn't tried it yet, so the 2 penalties, they put us into a punt formation, so we'll try to pin Mansfield deep here.
Chapman will be punting to Spencer for Mansfield. It's a good snap. Chapman gets a kick. It's a high kick, and it's going to bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So when the Panthers offense comes back on with 8:36 remaining in the first quarter of a scoreless District 4 semifinal matchup, the Panthers will be facing a 1st and 10 on their own 20.
Field position sort of favors Mount Carmel early here. We tried to pin them deep, just got a big bounce and it went into the end zone. So Mount Carmel look to get another 3 and out here. We'll see if Mansfield will try to do something a little different offensively.
So Burley's going to have 3 receivers to his left. It's going to be Meyer, David, and Freeman to his left. Justin Shedd split out to the right, and it's going to be a delayed handoff to Kolb. And Kolb's got some room up the middle. It's the most successful play by far. He's going to pick up about 5 out to the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 4.
So we talked about it a little bit before. You made the point, Jimmy, that they're going to spread Mount Carmel out. So I know Jose mentioned that they have 9 people in the box defensively. We don't have that luxury right now with the 3 and 4 wide receivers that are always split out.
The only thing that impressed me with them is the size of their receivers. They're 6'2" and 6'3". 2 of them are. One is a shorter kid, but it might be a mismatch on some jump balls.
And Meyer's listed at 6'5". So
there's a swing pass to the right side there. He's going to pick up another yard or 2. Not a whole lot going on there. It was a well-designed play. Not too much yards to pick up, but faced with a 3rd and 2, the Panthers are back up on the ball again. 3 receivers split out to the right, 1 to the left. It's Burley and Cobb in the backfield. It's a hard count. The Red Tornadoes don't move. Now he's going to look back across the field. He's going to bring Cobb to the other side. And this time it's going to be a wide receiver screen, and he's got some blockers in front of him out there. That was complete to number 2, Justin Shedd, good enough for a 1st down.
So we weren't quite sure if the run-pass option for Mansfield was going to be like a pre-snap read or a read at the line of scrimmage. So it looks like they were able to come out, see how Mount Carmel was going to defend it, and then change the play into a favorable option for them, which was the screen pass to the receiver.
Same look for the Panthers, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Burley's going to hand it that time to Kolb again. Nice tackle made by number, wait to see it, jersey. That's number 4, Logan Wills. Pick up a 2.
Mansfield gaining a little confidence here, picks up a 1st down, getting 2-3 yards at a clip, giving himself some better opportunities than a 3rd and 10.
2nd and 7 here now. It'll be double split. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Burley's going to have Garrett David come in motion. He's going to hand him the football. David's around the end, and there's not a whole lot of room over there. He'll be run out of bounds. We'll see exactly where they call it. It's going to be at the 43-yard line, so make it a 3rd and 3.
So Mansfield moving the ball in their 2nd possession here. Owens in for Karicki. So Karicki was out last week. He was able to start the game today.
His ankle looked a little tender. He may have tweaked it a little bit.
Burley's going to take it, and this time it's going to be the same play. It's the screen to the right side. Picked up the 1st down before. It's going to do it again. This time he hits Freeman rather than Shedd, and the Panthers are on the move.
Yet this offense, we talked about it, is difficult to defend. The quarterback is basically putting the ball in the belly of the running back. But if we're not defending it properly on the outside, if they have 3 players out there and we only have 2, he can pull it back and throw. And he seems to be making the right decisions early.
Burley, it's a delayed handoff that time to Colt, but he takes a big hit. That's Ayers lowering the boom there right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be no gain. That was the Panthers' first snap inside Red Tornado territory today. 6.5 left here in the first quarter of a scoreless contest so far.
Brings up a 2nd and 10.
Burley goes to the side to get the play. He makes his way back. 3 to his right, 1 to his left. He's got Kolb in the backfield to his right. And he's going to hand it to him again, and Kolb's got nowhere to go. That time, 75. Billy Anderson makes a terrific play at the line. May even lose a yard there. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
So a little bit of a difference here. Anderson and some of the other guys able to get some penetration on these 2 plays and on the first series, but the first couple plays of this drive, we weren't, and Mansfield had us a little bit off balance, and that sort of seems to be the difference. We're going to have to get some guys in up front.
Yep, and on 3rd and long, they're going to go 3 to the right, 1 to the left. 1 to the left is Meyer. He's got one-on-one coverage and Avery Demko. And this time it doesn't matter. They call it, and it's intercepted. The pass intercepted by Widener. Widener's moving up the field. He's going to be out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So big change of motion there. Great play by 28 Shane Widener to make that interception.
Yeah, and he read it all the way, Jim. You know, Burley trying to force that one in there. Guy was covered. You pointed out Meyer, the 6'5" receiver who has one-on-one over here on Demko, and you thought they might try to go there, but he didn't even look in this direction.
No,
he was looking right there the whole time, and Widener read his eyes, and he saw it coming all the way.
It's
a great job by Widener being in the right place at the right time. I know everybody watches a lot of film. Coach Darren and the sideline had these guys prepared, and for the Red Tornadoes, it's going to be more of the same. It's the sweep to Ayers, and he gets through the wash, and he's going to stay on his feet. He's all the way down to the 41-yard line of the Panthers. It'll be a pickup of about 12. Big gain, another first down moving forward.
Yeah, and that's a staple of the offense here for Mount Carmel. Ayers got ahead of steam, broke some tackles. We had some guys out in front. Anderson with a nice block there, as you can see on the replay, and Mount Carmel on the move into Mansfield territory.
Ball spotted just outside the 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, Big Red.
Reisinger brings the team up to the line. Again, it's the same look. Daukus and Widener in the wing to the left. Ayers is in the sidecar to Reisinger's right. And this time they're going to hand it to Widener on that inside handoff. And Widener's in the alley. He's got two blockers in front of him. He's at the 25. He's going to get down inside the 20. They'll mark him down at the 18-yard line. It's going to be another big pickup, 22 that time.
Great blocking by the Mount Carmel line there, and especially Daukus, the fullback, and Chapman, the tight end, way out in front throwing blocks. Big game for Mount Carmel.
Dad, Chapman downfield doing a great job too. Doesn't only catch footballs, he also helps his running backs downfield. Great job.
Again, 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes at the 18-yard line. Second time they've been threatening. It'll be the same look out of Mount Carmel. This time it's going to be Reisinger's going to fake the inside handoff, and he's going to keep it. Now he's got one guy to beat on the side. He's going to use the stiff one, and Reisinger's in. There are no flags on this one. That's going to be an 18-yard scamper by number 13, Tommy Reisinger.
That's a great call by Coach Dara. He set that up for the first 7 or 8 plays. And what a block by Daukus out in front.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot throughout the season. It's always impressive to me when you see these guys that you don't often see in open field, and you can see them really be athletic. And Reisinger, I mean, he's got number 21, Brian Begevich. He's got a beat on him. He has the angle, and Reisinger just beats him with the corner.
You were right about a little wrinkle. Whenever Reisinger has run the ball so far this year, it's been up inside. He never took it outside, and this was wide open for him. Great call.
Stellar on to attempt the PAT. Demko on the hold. It's a good snap and a good hold. The kick is up, and it's going to be good. And so with 4:23 left in the first quarter, the Red Tornadoes are on top of the visiting North Penn Panthers, 7-0.
So It seems Mount Carmel's able to move the ball. If it weren't for the penalties, we would have scored there on the first possession. Really, I mean, that drive, we were firing all cylinders. Coach Dara really mixing it up well with the sweeps and the fakes and the inside handoffs and stuff. A lot of blocking downfield. So, like I said, easily could be up 14-0, but that's part of the game, penalties, so if we can clean that up, I think we'll be okay.
John, another thing that I think I saw, I'm not sure, they were talking about going for 2 before the game because of the condition of the field. And from what I saw on that, it looked like they shortened Julian's approach to the ball, which would lessen his opportunities to slip with his plant foot. So little things coaching-wise, I'm impressed. Doing a great job.
Speaking of little adjustments, again, Chapman's going to kick off more from the right hash this time as opposed to the left hash last time. Ball falls off the tee, so we'll get a stoppage here.
Yeah, I think he just slipped. You could see like where they had the ball first time. You could see like there's a little mark there or whatever. Where I just think he lost his footing.
Pagutchik and Spencer back deep for the Panthers. See a little breeze coming across the field. That's going to be another kick, Chapman. It's going to be very close, and that's going to roll out of bounds again. That's going to bounce. It bounces around the 25 and then made a hard left right for the sideline.
Yeah, you never know which way the football's going to bounce, and made a beeline for the sideline there. So Mansfield with good field position again to start their third drive.
Yep, one thing it'll be interesting to see if they opt this time. You talked about the Red Tornado interior defensive line getting penetration. Really, when Mansfield goes to the delayed handoff is when the Red Tornadoes have been able to blow those up. So see if they kind of cross that off their play sheet this week.
Well, I've seen a lot more activity with the interior line today, and it seems like they're totally dominating up front, and I expect them to continue to do that, especially Billy and Chili.
That penetration is going to be important, especially I really think it's a numbers game for Mansfield. If they have 3 receivers out to this side and we only have 2 defenders out here, the quarterback sees that he's going to throw it this way. Now they have 2 and 2, so
it'll be first and 10 from the 35, and they're going to hand it. This time it's Garrett David, number 39, in the backfield rather than Kolb. He's a little bit bigger running back. He's going to power his way across the 40 out to the 42-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Yeah, tough run inside there. Nice game for Mansfield on first down. I know Coach Dara talked a little bit yesterday about he didn't want to bring too many people down into the box, and when you're being spread out like this, you really can't.
This time's double split, but it's the same decision. It's going to be Garrett David up the middle, and the Red Tornadoes are ready for that one. He'll pick up maybe the length of the football, not much more than that. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 44-yard line.
I think it's an important play here for Mansfield. Mount Carmel moved the ball, scored, had it called back, scored again. Mansfield showed some promise on their last drive. Now 3rd and short. I think it's important for them to pick up and establish some momentum.
Same look for the Panthers. Burley's going to give it to David again, and David's going to power through. He's going to be very close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot. Officials seem to be standing in a location that they're going to get the first down. And they will. First and 10 Panthers.
It's on the 45, so I would think it would have to be.
But again, we see from the Panthers, when they're going to their read options and kind of letting Burley make a decision there late, it's giving the Red Tornado interior defensive line a chance to get upfield and kind of blow those plays up.
Yeah, I think that's going to be important going forward for Colin Erb and Anderson to get inside and get some penetration.
This time it's going to be a handoff across the field to number 20, Noah Spencer. He came in motion. He's going to get into Red Tornado territory at the 49-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd and 4 with 2:52 left in this first quarter, and the Red Tornadoes on top 7-0.
Yeah, nice little play there. Mansfield, it seems like they have a bunch in their bag of tricks, and yeah, it's win or go home, so you might as well use them all.
Burley's going to keep Spencer in the backfield this time. He's going to be to his left. Now he moves to his right, and they're going to hit him on a swing pass, but the Red Tornadoes have a lot of red jerseys over there. First on site, Nick Troutman, number 10, Noah Burkowski is going to finish that one off. There'll be a significant loss on the play. We'll see exactly how far back into Panther territory to the 49, so a loss of about 2.
They're very well defended that time by Mount Carmel. They saw that one coming all the way.
Yeah, those plays, those are tough plays because, again, they take a little bit of time to develop.
You know, guys, it's making me wonder what they saw on that side of our defensive secondary that they're just picking on that side all day. They haven't thrown anything this way yet.
And this time Burley's going to keep it himself, and he's going to be dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. Not going to pick up anything additional there.
And you're right, Jose. That's where Demko is, who's arguably our best corner. You know, on this side, Owens is in for Karicki, who's a little bit banged up, but they're not really trying to come this way, which is a little surprising to me.
So it'll be 4th and 6 for the Panthers. It'll be Lazowski on to punt again.
Joe, Demko's on both sides of the field because he's covering their #1 receiver depending on where he lines up. But they're still going to the right side every time. I just don't know.
Demko and Burkowski back deep for the Red Tornadoes. It's a bad snap. It's to the right of Lazowski. He does his best to get a kick off, but it's not going to go anywhere. It'll barely get into Red Tornado territory. Mount Carmel will start the drive at the 47-yard
It's a 4-yard punt. That wasn't a good thing, huh?
No.
Special teams early, you know, this is sort of the first major thing, but we've seen Mount Carmel kind of slip a little bit on the kickoff. Now, we did convert the PAT successfully, which is difficult to do under these conditions. Mansfield trailing, struggling a little bit defensively, and a 4-yard punt. You give the ball to Mount Carmel at midfield. That's got to be tough.
Same look out of Mount Carmel. Reisinger's going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is in the middle. He's across the midfield, across the 45. He powers down near the first down, all the way down to the 42-yard line, so that should be enough. And it is. 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes.
John Ayers running really tough early here. You know, he had last week off. He looks really good out there. Doesn't seem to be bothered at all.
You know, guys,
really
he's 4 for 38 early in the game, and he only needed 47 to get to that 4,000 mark in his career.
Well, Reisinger's going to keep it this time, and he's going to throw it deep. He throws it in the direction of Chapman, who's behind the defender. He makes it. Oh, he had it in his hands. It was a beautiful over-the-shoulder look, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, but even so, it's a nice play by Mount Carmel. Chapman just couldn't haul it in. But even so, I mean, that's going to keep Mansfield honest. You know, Mount Carmel's really, we talked about establishing the run, which they've had. They've shown the ability to pass now, and that keeps those safeties from walking up from Mansfield. And Coach will come back to that one, don't worry.
Yeah, it's keeping those 9 guys out of the box. If you look, they're dropped 5 yards deep now. They're not up behind a line. They're cheating up a little bit, but they're still not there.
And Reisinger is going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to try to get to the outside. He uses a stiff arm, but he's dragged down. Nice play by 36, Michael Cole.
Yeah, really nice tackle in the open field by Cole there for Mansfield. So this will be 3rd and long for Mount Carmel.
The one thing, just to jump back to play, it was a beautiful ball, and Chapman certainly had a chance to make the catch. The coverage was good from 21, Brian Bogucik. What we see is Bogucik actually, he has 6 interceptions on the season, so they leave him out there a lot, and he's pretty comfortable in that position.
I think he's a sophomore too, guys, if I remember correctly.
Yep, 5'9", 150-pound sophomore, so we'll see him a lot over the next couple of years. 30 seconds and counting here in the first quarter, 3rd and 11 for the Red Tornadoes. Reisinger, he's got a screen set up in the middle of the field. Widener, now he's just got to pick his road. He's got a lot of red jerseys, and he slips down at the 25-yard line. So he'll pick up the first down, but could have had a lot more.
Well-developed play there for Mount Carmel on the screen pass. Widener wide open. We had the whole line out in front. Ayers was wide open in the flat.
Yeah.
Again, we'll come back to that one too.
Yep.
Going quick.
Yep. Reisinger back up on the ball. Is going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to be through. Ayers is inside the 20. I'll mark him down at the 19-yard line, and that's going to do it here in the first quarter. The clock's about to run out, and it will. So at the end of the first quarter, the Red Tornadoes are on top of the North Penn Mansfield Panthers, 7-0 here in this District IV PIAA semifinal game. So a couple things we got going on here at the Silver Bowl. Certainly we have the Tornado Brick Project. We try to talk about that every week when we can. The Mount Carmel Area School District has begun a Red Tornado Legacy Brick Project at the Silver Bowl. The project will include a brick 6-foot by 6-foot water jet image of our Red Tornado logo in the center. The logo will be surrounded by 4-inch by 8-inch and 12-inch by 12-inch bricks, with all proceeds going to the general upkeep of the Silver Bowl Stadium. location for the project will be in the south end zone. And if you've been at the Silver Bowl this season, you may have already noticed that the project is underway. The project's goal is to create a new tradition and gathering place for fans before sporting events at the stadium at the Brick Project site. For more information about the Red Tornado Legacy Brick Project, please contact the MCA Junior Senior High School Principal Office, Athletic Office, District Office at 570-339-1500, or our good friend Jose Gonzalo at rxmanjag@gmail.com.
Charles, Jimmy, real quick for Mount Carmel, 102 total yards of offense in the first quarter and 45 for the Panthers of North Penn Mansfield.
So 102 yards in the first quarter, Jose. That's pretty close to their 406 game average,
That's exactly right. You're exactly right.
So business as usual for the Red Tornadoes.
And we talked about establish the run, and they have. Period.
Exactly, Joe. You're right.
See how they start the second quarter. 2nd and 4. This time it's going to be handoff to Burkowski. Burkowski's got some red jerseys in front of him. He's down that left side. Now he's in a sprint. He's going to put his head down. And he's out of bounds inside the 5. We'll see exactly where they mark it. They're going to say it's about the 3-yard line. So a big 16-yard run on 2nd down by number 10, Noah Burkowski.
Yeah, we saw Noah have a big game last week. And Jose, you mentioned it last week. I don't know if you want to say it again, but he's really efficient when he has the ball.
He is totally efficient, guys. He's averaging over 10 times every time he touches the football, and he scores a touchdown every 5 times he touches it. So it's pretty interesting. I did something else. We'll talk about it after the play.
Reisinger is going to hand this to Ayers, and Ayers is in. And that's going to be another Red Tornado touchdown. So with 11:48 left, second quarter barely started here, and Mount Carmel's on top 13-0.
Great drive by Mount Carmel. You get the ball at midfield, and few plays, they punch it in.
And I think you talked about it at the start of the last drive it was, Joe. Mount Carmel's offense has been extremely efficient thus far, kind of really rolling through, with the exception of the one penalty there that really threw them back.
So, and now you see we're going for 2, and I think, oh no, he's not. Okay, I thought I saw Widener back in the backfield. I'm sorry. But back to Noah. Noah now in all-purpose yards is averaging 12.9 times every time he touches the football. He has close to 1,000 yards in all-purpose yards, and he's not a starter yet. And those numbers are Kenny Diminick, Bobby Zavarik numbers. So pretty impressive.
A nice weapon to have.
Also impressive, the extra point by Stellar. He drilled that one. It seemed like his footing was a little tentative in the south end zone, but in the north end zone, he planted it and drove that well across out to the track. So it's 14-0 early here. Mount Carmel on top.
Mount Carmel looks really good early offensively. The line's getting a good push, blocking downfield, mixing in a pass play every now and then. Coach Dyer showing a couple of new plays here to keep everybody off balance. He wanted to establish the run. We definitely did that. Important drive coming up here, I think, for Mansfield. We talked about before the game, having them to be, what kind of moment is this going to be for them? They're high school kids. It's a playoff game. They're on the road at Mount Carmel. It's a 2-hour drive, a Saturday afternoon. How are they going to react? Well, Mount Carmel came out, pushed them around a little bit in the first quarter, so how are they going to respond? I think is going to be important here to see if they can climb back into this game.
I think you're 100% right, Joe. I think the physicality of Mount Carmel's front is maybe a little surprising, a little overwhelming for North Penn, and I expect it to continue.
One thing to your point, Joe, about the moment itself, I think the Panthers probably benefit a little bit from District 4's decision to move the game to a Saturday. As we look out here at the Red Tornado sideline, the Red Tornado stands, it's a lot more sparse than you would expect it for a District 4 semifinal game. Certainly a big factor there is just being a Saturday afternoon game as opposed to a Friday night game.
Right, I agree. We talked about Saturdays. You just don't know how kids are going to react. Mount Carmel doesn't seem to be affected by it at all.
Chapman's kick that time is going to stay in bounds. Cope's going to pick it up at about the 29. He'll be out near the 40-yard line. That's where they'll mark him, right at the 40. So it'll be 1st and 10 Panthers from there.
Good field position for Mansfield here. Let's see if they can put something together. Again, with that offense is tricky. They have several 5'6" guys who have a bunch of receptions and carries. They have a lot of weapons. Haven't really been able to break anything. They've short games here, short games there. But when they get behind the sticks early, that doesn't bode well for what they're trying to do against the Mount Carmel defense.
Oh, we're going to have a little stoppage here. The tee was still on the field. But, yeah, I think at some point we're going to have to see the Panthers take some shots down the field. We're going to have to see how far Burley can throw it and see if they can get some 50-50 ball, come up with some 50-50 balls. Burley's going to, this time he's going to hand it to Kolb again up the middle, and he doesn't have a whole lot of room. Pick up 2, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Colin Herb on the stop. You know, those big guys, Mount Carmel up front, get some penetration here. They seem to be the key for me early from what I'm able to tell. When they're able to get to the runner right away, you know, I know it sounds simple, but I mean, linebackers then are able, you know, we can cover these receivers up a little bit.
Burley, it's going to be a delayed handoff to Kolb, and again, he's got nowhere to go.
Colin Herb is having a career day early in this ball game, guys.
That's 2 stops in a row for Herb, and he is really fired up right now. Well, there was a little bit of a pushing match after the touchdown with Anderson and 64 from Mansfield Liowski. And Anderson's not that type of kid, I can tell you that. So I don't know. It might have, him and Herb are buddies. So I don't know if that has him extra fired up here on Saturday afternoon.
And we got another great play here on the field. That was going to be 28 Shane Widener. The Panthers tried that screen pass out. It's almost like a rocket screen. Quick wide receiver screen to Meyer, and Widener shot the gap there and drug him down in the backfield, all the way back to the original line of scrimmage.
And Coach Dara told me yesterday, he said, you know, they pass the ball a lot, but they don't really try to throw the ball downfield, and they haven't really here today. One time, and Widener picked it off, and these outside screen passes, Mount Carmel seems to have it figured out, if you ask me.
Wazowski's punt goes out of bounds, get down to the 30-yard line, so that's where the Red Tornadoes will pick up. Again, on top 14-0 with 10:09 left in the second quarter. The defense has certainly come to play. I think there were a few plays there, maybe on the second Panther drive where Mount Carmel gave up a first down or 2, but otherwise they've been pretty shut down.
Okay, Mount Carmel very efficient offensively here early on. Look to continue that.
They'll come out in their patented shotgun double wing. Reisinger has Ayers to his left. He's going to bring Widener across. They're not going to give it to Widener. It's actually Ayers, and Ayers is across the middle of the field. Does a great job picking his way. He'll get out to the 35, so he's only going to pick up 5, but that was a pretty impressive run to pick up 5 shots.
Tough run for John Ayers for sure.
That, guys, is the run that puts John over 4,000 yards for his career on the ground. Puts him in company with Veach, and Diminick. And if you think about all the great players that have played at Mount Carmel, that's pretty good company.
That's very good company. And congratulations to John. He's a great kid, and we're thrilled for him. That's great.
This time they're going to hand it to Widener this time, and Widener's going to be thrown down in the backfield. That's 99, Dylan Meyer. Makes a great play. He's their defensive end. He sniffed that one out from the beginning, and he's going to drop Widener for a loss of 2.
Nice play there by Meyer, keeping contained, not letting Mount Carmel get outside, and then dragging Widener down for a loss. Third down for Mount Carmel.
3rd and 7.
3rd and 7. We'll see how Coach Dara opts to attack this one. Reisinger's been efficient throwing the football that he's been on target. We'll see what he's going to do. Sends Ayers in motion, and Reisinger's going to roll that way, and he throws it. He overthrows Widener. He had Widener open around the 40-yard line, and he just missed him.
Yeah, it was a well-developed play. He had some options there. Tommy just had just a little bit too much on that one, so Mansfield gets their well, I guess it's their second stop, but we did score on the first down, but the penalties sort of stopped that drive. So important stop for Mansfield. Mount Carmel with no first down. They'll punt from their own 20, so Mansfield looking to capitalize, get some good field position, and mount the drive.
Yeah, and as Chapman waits to receive the snap, one thing we haven't talked about today, we've talked about the kicking, and it's been kind of interesting. It's got to be like kicking a rock today, I think, which probably doesn't help anybody. But it's a good snap, and it's a high kick, but it's a little bit short from Chapman. It's going to bounce at the 42, and it's going to get a nice roll all the way down. It won't go out of bounds until it hits the 30-yard line, so big kick by Chapman.
Yeah, nice job by Chapman there to sort of turn the field over. They had some pressure on him there. He kind of fell after it, but there was no penalty on that, so Mansfield takes over at the 30.
8:44 left in the first half. Mount Carmel on top, 14-0. Again, certainly not dire by any means, but the Panthers need to get something started on offense sooner rather than later. They'll try with 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And Burley, this is a straight pass. He's looking down the left side of the field, and he's got nobody. Now there's a flag thrown in the direction of 14 Avery Demko. He was in one-on-one coverage with Meyer.
So we talked, Jimmy, about is Mansfield going to try to open it up and throw the ball downfield? They did on first down there. Penalty. This, I guess it's going to be pass interference on Demko. I don't know. The throw, it is. The throw was nowhere near. I mean, his throw was 15 yards away from. I don't think he had any opportunity to catch the ball at all.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one. If you're to swallow if you're Avery. Demko, he had great coverage over there. He's given up. What do we say Demko is here? We got him at 5'10", so he's given up almost 8 inches. And this time, Burley's going to keep this one. He's going to move off the left side, and he'll be tripped up right around midfield. So we'll see. They'll mark it right at midfield, so it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Panthers.
Yeah, Troutman on the stop there. So that's the first time we've really seen Burley keep it and run it. Maybe they're opening up things a little bit. I mean, you're down 2 scores on the road. You have nothing to lose. You might as well.
Split formation from the Panthers. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Burley's in the backfield with Kolb. And Burley's going to keep it again. And this time, Troutman's more ready for it than he was last time even. He's only going to pick up a yard.
Yeah, Troutman had that one read all the way. So 2 tackles in a row for Troutman. He is the leading tackler for Mount Carmel.
For all you anglers out there, Troutman has exceeded his limit for the day.
So we'll see exactly what North Penn's going to do here, facing a 3rd and 3 from the 48-yard line. It's a pretty big play for the Panthers. And they're going to, he's going to drop. Burley drops the snap, and he tries to recover, but there's too many red jerseys there. He's going to end up losing a yard. It'll be 4th and 4. And I think at this point, the Panther sideline has a decision to make.
He's mulling over for sure. No. They're going to punt it. No, they're going to punt, try to pin Mount Carmel deep. There's still 7 minutes left here and a half, so they can get another 3 and out, maybe try to get the ball back around midfield again.
Wazowski, this time the snap hits him right in the chest, so he does a nice job with it. It's a good punt in the direction of Demko. He takes it at the 17-yard line, and he's going to try to get all the way across the field, and he stops, goes back upfield. He'll cross the 25. They'll mark him down at the 26. It'll be 1st and 10 Mount Carmel.
Okay, Mount Carmel leading 14-0 here. We're approaching the midway point of the 2nd quarter. Mansfield had their first 3 and out there last possession, so Mount Carmel back at it offensively. See if they can put a drive together here towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, I think given what this Red Tornado offense is capable of doing, this certainly take 3, 4, 5 minutes off this clock to put one in, so we'll see if they go into their long, methodical approach. It's going to be a sweep to Ayers, and Ayers is in the alley, and he's upfield. He's across the 35, out to the 40, and that's where they'll mark him down at the 41-yard line. So it'll be a nice pickup of 14 and a 1st down Mount Carmel.
Yeah, nice run by Ayers. Nice blocking downfield. You know, that's a staple. Mount Carmel runs that all the time, and it's tough to stop. Coach Dara did tell me, he said, you don't need a lot of plays. You need to be able to run the plays that you have well, and I think that's one thing you can certainly say about the Mount Carmel offense.
They do a lot of things well, but that's certainly the #1 thing that they do, especially out of this shotgun double wing, and it's going to be the inside handoff. It's a fake, and it's Reisinger again, and Reisinger does a smart thing. He's going to get out of bounds after he crosses the 45-yard line. Mark him, give him the 47. Pick up a 6, 2nd and 4.
So that was the play we saw Reisinger run for the touchdown early. It's all set up with the inside handoff to Widener, which Mount Carmel's run and have much success on the last couple of weeks. So it's just another wrinkle to keep Mansfield honest.
Reisinger sends Ayers in motion, and he's going to fake the sweep, and he takes it up the middle. This is the play we've seen Reisinger run more often than not. He puts his shoulder down, he picks up the first down and more, all the way down to the 46-yard line of the Panthers for another first down.
Yeah, nice drive going here from Mount Carmel. Reisinger, 2 runs in a row. Just another weapon that we have offensively for sure.
Yeah, and I think given what we talked about, given the fact that Ayers was out last week, it's good to see not only him stay out there, but also that he doesn't have, he's not carrying the ball every single time. Reisinger's going to keep this one. He slips a little bit, and he's going to be dragged down well in the backfield. Looks like he was trying to either hand it to Ayers or fake it to Ayers, but either way, he lost his footing, threw off the timing, and he's going to be back to the the Red Tornado 46-yard. I'm going to be lost at 10.
Yeah, I think that one was supposed to go to Ayers. I think that was just going to be a sweep, and he lost his footing a little bit, lost the handle. And second long for Mount Carmel.
And it'll be loss of 8 until they set it back up. So it'll be a 2nd and 18, 5:15 left in the first half. The Red Tornadoes on top of the Panthers, 14-0 District 4 semifinal matchup. Reisinger's going to send Ayers in motion. He sweeps. He's going to pitch it to him, and Ayers is going to be hit first by 64 Ian Lazowski. But really, and if Dan were here, Dan would tell you that play is made by 99, I believe. We'll have to see. That's is Meyer out there. It's the defensive end on this side. Really sets the edge and forced Ayers back inside.
Yeah, we keep saying that's a play Mount Carmel runs, and they've had success. Ayers with about a 15-yard gain earlier, but Mansfield had that one figured out. Not let him get outside.
Give credit where credit is due. That's Brandon Chaplowski on that end now. But Reisinger is going to drop back, and he's going to throw. He throws it across the formation, and it's going to be intercepted. It's going to be intercepted by number 22, Cameron Andrews. And Andrews is down the sideline. He's going to take a big hit from Reisinger, but he's going to be deep into Red Tornado territory. He'll be down at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, that's a tough pass. Read it all the way for Mansfield. This is an important play in the ball game for Mansfield, who hasn't really shown a lot of success offensively now. Now they have the ball at the 30-yard line. Mount Carmel getting that 3rd and really long, forced the pass, and it just wasn't really open. He kind of forced it in there.
It's Meyer, Spencer, and Freeman to the left, Shed to the right, and Burley's going to take it. He's going to go straight back. He's only looking for one guy, and he overthrows Freeman. It'll be 2nd and 10.
So Mansfield is trying to open it up a little bit here. We said they didn't really show that the first 4 or 5 drives. The last drive they did, we thought they might. Coach Dara did say they don't really throw the ball downfield too much. And that one, nobody home.
Yeah, to go back to the interception, that we talked about, the Red Tornadoes run a lot of plays, and they have a lot of success with similar plays. That one, the Reisinger rolls to the left and throws it back to Chapman. They've had a lot of success with that this season, so you certainly think North Penn must have seen that one on film.
Yeah, they had that one scouted out for sure.
This time Burley again, he's looking, and he's going to go high, and he misses Meyer. He had 2 guys in the area, but there's a flag late in the backfield. That looks like it's going to be a roughing the passer against the Red Tornadoes.
And yeah. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Burley took a shot. Might have been Hood.
Yep.
Now there's a second flag.
So we'll see what the second one is, and given the second one's a dead ball foul, it'll be tacked on. So this will get pretty interesting pretty quickly here for the Panthers and the Red Tornadoes, for that matter.
So it looks like Colin Erb is out. So he might have been a little too excited. I don't want to speculate, but that's my guess.
So we're waiting for the call. We're going to get the roughing the passer against the Red Tornadoes. That'll be 15. And then we're going to get a unsportsmanlike conduct against the Red Tornadoes for another 15. We'll see how they end up marking all these down. Again, once we start getting inside the 30, and we're splitting hairs now, splitting penalties in half. So it'll be all the way down to the 7-yard line. So 1st and goal for the Panthers. 4:11 left in the first half. Really threatening for the first time this afternoon.
And now they can go back to the regular stuff, being that they're inside the 7.
And they're going to give it to Garrett David. And David's going to shake off the first tackle. but there's too many red jerseys there. He's not going to get much further. He'll pick up a yard. It'll be to the 6.
Yeah, and you got to figure this is 4-down territory for Mansfield. So like that read power run, you know, you could see it 4 times here, to be honest.
Yeah, we try not to be too hyperbolic here and get too excited, but I think given what we've seen from both sides this far, I mean, this drive could go a long way towards deciding this game.
Yeah, I think it's a must score for Mansfield, absolutely.
So we'll see. We've got some discussions with the officials. There's official time on the field. Panthers returning to their huddle. We'll see. We'll put it back in play. The clock winds. 3:45. With the Panthers staying in their formation. 3 receivers split out to the left. And they're going to hand it to Kolb, and he's got nowhere to go. That's number 55 for the Red Tornadoes. Zach Artman.
Yeah, and Artman, who was the substitute for Herb, who got taken out after the penalty. Nice play by Zach Artman.
It'll be loss of 2 on that one, so it'll be 3rd and goal from the 8. And again, we talked about it being 4-down territory. It absolutely is, but they've burned half of their shots here already.
And you saw it in the replay. I mean, he just blew his man right off the ball.
Burley looks at the defense. He takes the snap, and he's going to keep it. He rolls out. Now he puts his foot in the ground. He wants to throw it, but he's got nowhere to go. And the Red Tornadoes drag him down outside of the 10-yard line. They'll be back to the 11. Billy Anderson, Zach Artman, a couple different Red Tornadoes on the spot, but a huge play by that defense.
Yeah, a lot of pressure there on that. That was a little bit slower developing play from Mansfield, which they're kind of not used to. They're used to getting the ball out quickly. And we had a bunch of Red Tornadoes in the backfield there.
4th and goal from the 10. 2:34 and counting here in the first half.
I thought they might have tried to do a little fade jump ball to the 6'5" Meyer, but
they're going to go with a power backfield almost out of the shotgun. It's an interesting look, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to throw it to Meyer, and he's going to make the catch. It's a touchdown.
Good call, Joe.
So that's exactly what they do. They get Meyer lined up one-on-one on the outside, and really the full house backfield they had in the shotgun seemed designed just to give Burley enough time to get the ball out of his hand.
Yeah, with Mount Carmel with that pressure from the defensive line, and Burley made a nice throw there. He didn't quite throw it way up like I thought he might, but he had just enough on it to find 6'5" Meyer. Nice play, important play for Mansfield for sure.
So it'll be number 10, Kevin Alexander, on for the extra point. And it's up, and it is good. And so again, 2:19 here in the first half. The Panthers get one in on a kind of a 10-yard pitch and catch from Burley to Meyer, and they cut the lead in half. It's 14-7 Mount Carmel.
Penalties playing an important role here in the first half. Mount Carmel scored on their opening drive. That was called back, and then Mansfield had the ball, 2 penalties, and that gave them the ball, a 1st and goal from the 7. And they were able to make a nice pitch and catch there on 4th down to cut the Mount Carmel lead in half.
Yeah, that pass to Meyer, too. The real key there is the Red Tornado defender on that side, isn't it? It happens too quick. He can't get his head around. Meyer knows where the ball is when it's coming. It almost looks like one of those back shoulder fades that they throw at the higher levels of football these days.
And I thought it was good coverage too.
It was, absolutely.
And sometimes good offense just beats good defense when it's designed and you have the athletes to run it. And
you know, you guys, we've talked about the penalties all year, especially the second half of this season, and how they were going to come back to bite us in a big game. And I hope that doesn't happen today, but it just certainly did on that drive.
Alexander will be kicking off for the Panthers. He's going to kick it down to Widener. All right, Widener's got a hard time handling it. He's going to scoop it up at about the 11. And now there's a lot of white jerseys around. He's going to try to get to the sideline. He breaks one. Now he's got a little room. He's going to cut back across the field. He's at the 40. He's down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him. Widener's going to return this kickoff 88 yards. And that is how you answer. There's no flags on the field. Mount Carmel is on top, 20-7, with 1:59 left. Whoa. There is a flag. There is a flag.
If that's a block in the back on Reed Witkowski, that's a shame, because that was a good block. And I don't know.
And it's going to be a block in the back.
That's a shame. Coach Dara is furious.
Well, and I
don't blame him.
And we've talked about this before. We've seen the Red Tornadoes on the wrong side of a lot of these penalties this season, a lot of really questionable ones. But the problem that I always have with these is the flags are always so late. It's almost as if once the Red Tornado offensive player is in the clear, then the flag comes out.
I don't know. Did you, Jose? Did you pick it up?
No, I thought I saw one on the sideline on that second replay when he turned the corner, but
but the flag was on the other side.
Of the field.
Yeah,
right.
the flag was
and
over
I watched that as it developed, and he had his head in front of him. I don't know. It doesn't look like that. It didn't look like penalty to me.
Yep, that's a tough one right there. My goodness, that's tough for a lot of reasons. Again, it takes another 6 points off the board. It's going to give the Red Tornadoes a 1st and 10 at their own 9.
Huge momentum swing, too, really. I mean, Widener just stole it back.
Reisinger's going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to do what Ayers does. He'll fight forward for a couple yards, but he's not going to pick up more than that. He'll get across the 10 to the 11. He's 2nd and 8.
Yeah, important drive here, under 2 minutes. The Mount Carmel offense isn't exactly built around like a 2-minute type offense, although we do have a bit of a spread look. We have success running the power against this team, and I think we could, but do we have the time?
Minute 25. They're going to hand it inside to Burkowski, and Burkowski's going to do what he can. He's slung down by 56, sorry. I want to keep giving the credit to Meyer. That one's 56, Rock Minnick. But I think the other issue there with Widener returning that kick is that kid just sprinted, at least gassed. 88 yards. He's gassed, so the Red Tornadoes don't have him available those first 2 plays of the drive. He goes back out now. But again, we're under a minute here, and Mount Carmel's got the original 88 yards between them and the end zone.
Yeah, not in any hurry here. Certainly don't want to give the ball back to Mansfield. I thought they would use a timeout, but they didn't.
Reisinger's going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to do the important thing, it looks like, at least. He's going to pick up the 1st down to make sure that the Panthers don't have another shot at this here in the first half. But now Coach Dara is going to call a timeout. It's going to get interesting here, I think, guys.
Yeah, he might take a shot here, maybe at least one, and see what you can get out of it. Or that screen, that screen play looked. We had that set up last time. We had a couple of guys open. Maybe he'll come back to that.
Yep, so speaking of taking a shot, I hope you took a shot at our trivia question last week. We got another one for you this week. We'll let you know who won last week as well. Again, so get ready for that. As a reminder, last week's was named a WKMC TV alumni who's a video engineer at Citizens Bank Park, which is the home of the Phillies. So in the 3rd quarter, we'll give you that answer. We'll let you know who won and also get you up to speed on this week's question. So make sure you stick around and stay with us here all the way to the end.
Okay, 38 seconds. We'll see if Mount Carmel goes to the air here.
They're going to look like they always look, though, that's for sure. Reisinger's going to have Ayers to his left in the sidecar. Daukus and Widener in the wings to the right. Chapman and Wills in the tight end position. And Reisinger, he's going to keep it himself. He's going to sling it as far as he can. He's got Widener, and he's going to, he's just out of Widener's reach. My goodness. Widener got behind number 20, Noah Spencer, and if Spencer hadn't gotten his fingertips on that, Widener was going to take those 80 yards in a different manner and put another 6 on the board.
I was just going to say, I think Spencer just got a tip on it right at the last second, or a really well-developed play there. I think we could have had it. Did he tip it?
Yeah,
I think he just enough to redirect it.
Well, it almost looked like, I don't know if he misread it or what, but he was right there with Widener tracking with him, then he stopped as if he thought he had a chance to make the interception, and it almost went over his head, so good reaction there by Spencer. This time it's going to be a handoff to Widener again, and Widener's going to power through, get out to the 25-yard line. 25 seconds, 20 seconds and counting. And Coach Dara is not in any hurry at this point. We'll see if the Red Tornadoes want to snap it again. It looks like they do. 10 seconds left in the first half. And Reisinger's going to take it. He's going to roll out. He's going to put his foot in the ground. He's going to throw it as far as he can in the direction of Chapman. It's intercepted. So hold on now. So he's going to throw the interception. It's going to be 25. It's going to be number 25, Kalen Matzik.
is intercepted.
for the Panthers. He'll be out at the 47-yard line of the Red Tornadoes, and there's 0.8 of a second left on the clock.
Well, I guess you can heave one up. That double coverage there, Mansfield looked like they knew that one was coming for sure.
Ball spot at 47-yard line.
So we'll see.
0.8 seconds
They got Meyer to the
remaining
left by himself.
6'5" receiver, you
North
never
Penn
know.
takes over, first and 10.
Burley's got 2 receivers in the backfield, and he's going to take the coverage. He's gonna throw it in that direction. He's not going to get it to the end zone. He throws it way out of bounds, and the clock runs out here. So at the end of the first half, the Red Tornadoes are on top of the North Penn Mansfield Panthers, 14-7 in this District 4 Class AA semifinal matchup. We're going to take it. We're going to see the Red Tornado band at the halftime here. We'll be back after this with stats and a lot more, so make sure you come back.
Corner score, Dallas and Oilers tied at 0. Halftime score.
Hello and welcome back to the Silver Bowl, where the Red Tornadoes are on top of the North Penn Mansfield Panthers 14-7 after the first half of play here in the District IV Class AA semifinal matchup. Now at the outset we talked about some keys of the game. Joe, I don't know if you want to hit those first. We'll talk about where you thought both teams were successful in meeting those keys.
Yeah, that was a pretty good first half for Mount Carmel. We talked about establishing the run for sure, which they certainly were able to do. Jose will give us some numbers in a few minutes here, and be disciplined on defense. The run-pass option for Mansfield, which could give Mount Carmel trouble, I don't really think it did. I thought they were very disciplined defensively. The defensive line is playing fantastic. The linebackers for sure. You know, Mansfield scored on a fourth and goal from the 10 after a couple of penalties where they had a short field. And for Mansfield, their keys to the game, really for them to stay in the moment. We weren't sure how they would handle being in a big game at the Silver Bowl, and they're in the game. It easily, at 14-0, could have gotten away from them, and it didn't. So we got a ball game here for the second half.
Yeah, we're going to get back underway here. Well, the ball's going to fall off the tee, so Jose, I don't know how
real quick, I'll give you some numbers. North Penn Mansfield, 22 rushes for 39 yards, so we did that job defensively, Joe. And they were 5 of 9 passing for 19 and only 5 first downs. On the other hand, Mount Carmel did move the football, 142 yards rushing on 22 carries, and only 1 of 7 passing for 17 for 159 and 11 first downs. Looks like they need a holder.
Right, yeah, the ball falls off the tee for the second time. But we're not going to complain. We got back a little late here, so that bought us a few extra minutes to talk about exactly what happened in the first half. So again, I think the big thing, as we said, Jose, is 19 yards passing for the Panthers, but certainly the one big one was the 10-yard touchdown to Myers.
Yeah, on a 4th down, no less.
So Alexander, now that he's got a holder, he's going to kick off, and we're going to be underway here in the second half. Going to be down. The kick's going to bounce through Widener and Burkowski into the end zones. That's going to be a touchback. The Red Tornadoes will start their first drive of the second half from their own 20.
Yeah, important drive here for Mount Carmel. You know, this game could have easily be 28-0 or 21-0 here to start the second half, but you know, we got a 1-score lead here. Mansfield certainly believes not only believes that they're in the game, believes they could win the game at this point. So this is an important drive for Mount Carmel. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 15 straight runs.
I agree, Joe. I agree 100%.
You're going to see at least one. It's going to be Ayers across the 20. Sorry, check that. He'll be out near the 25. They'll mark him right at the 25. Give him 5 for a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, nice play to start off. For, you know, 5-yard gain. Ayers going downfield. You know, again, I'm not going to be surprised if we see that again, and then the inside play with Widener. I think Mount Carmel really has to come out here and say, okay, we're at home. We're Mount Carmel. We're tough. We're gonna run it down your throat, try and stop us.
Same look from Mount Carmel, though. Well, they'll flip it. Daukus and Widener in the wing to the left. Ayers is in the sidecar to Reisinger's right. And they're gonna hand it. No, Reisinger's gonna keep it again, and he gets to the sideline. He puts his head down. He'll cross the 30-yard line. That'll pick up a first down.
What a tough run by Reisinger, and a great block on the corner by Daukus once again.
Yeah, again, Daukus way out in front, throwing a nice block. You know, Tommy Reisinger, the 2 interceptions there at the end of the first half. He said, "Listen, I'm big, I'm strong. I'm gonna put my head down, and I'm gonna run you right over. First down, Mount Carmel."
That's what the Red Tornadoes have done all season, one way or the other. Reisinger looks over the defense. He's gonna get his offensive side set. And this time they're going to hand it to Widener on the inside Sally for sure. He'll be out across the 40-yard line, give him the 41. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Chapman and Daukus out in front. Good blocking again.
Absolutely, again, Daukus leading the way right up in the hole.
And the one thing we talked about right before we came back on air the half is this is the first time the Red Tornadoes have been in a dogfight, really. I mean, you could argue since week 1 against Central. So it's interesting to see how they'll respond, and thus far the returns are good. It's going to be the same play, that handoff to Widener. Widener's going to pick his direction, and he's got one guy to beat, and it's Spencer's going to ride him out of bounds. There's a late flag. So we'll see what they're going to call.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is a face mask.
I agree.
I'm hoping it's a face mask.
It should be for all intents and purposes.
But at this point, who knows?
So before they call the penalty, Widener's going to be all the way down to the 36-yard line. And they're already walking it off in the direction of the penalty, but it's only going to be a 5-yard variety.
Face mask penalty indicated against North Penn Mansfield.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the 29.
Okay, Mount Carmel on the move here. You know, establish the run. We talked about it. Here they come.
Widener continuing to have a nice day today.
Yeah, minus the 88-yarder too.
And 6 carries for 60 yards.
Reisinger is going to take the snap, and he hands it to Widener again. Widener's in that alley. He's got guys in front of him. He's got some room. He's down across the 20, inside the 15 to the 14. He'll pick up another Red Tornado first down. Gain of 15.
Chapman, Dowcus, Ayers, Wills all out in front throwing blocks. The line's doing a nice job here to start the third quarter. I'm sure Coach talked to the, tried to fire up the line and said, let's go. Let's really get a good push here.
Yeah, and you have to think at this point the Panthers seem to be at least a little bit concerned with Reisinger keeping that one.
Well, it's all in the design and the setup. You've showed it 3 times now with success every time. It keeps the defenders honest, and it has to.
And it's going to be the same play to Widener again. If it's not broke, don't fix it. This one, not as successful this time. Pick up a 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only thing we really haven't seen is the snap to Dowcus, the fullback, which
Good call, Joe.
Maybe
Could be
we're
coming up.
Maybe we're saving it. Maybe it's not there too. You don't know, but it's certainly been a staple the last couple of weeks.
So even in the wash there, Widener did a great job of pushing that pile. He actually picked up 4 all the way down to the 11. So 2nd and 6. Reisinger sends theirs in motion. He's going to fake the pitch to him, and he goes back inside. Reisinger keeps it himself across the 10 to the 7-yard line, so he'll pick up 4 of the 6 he needed, bring up 3rd and 2.
Very impressive drive here for Mount Carmel to start the third quarter. And, you have to think there's like a 99.9% chance for the seniors here. This is their last time playing at the Silver Bowl, so that's got to mean something to them right now, and I'm sure that was brought up at halftime as well.
I agree, Joe. They were upset this week when there was some talk about the game being moved. He just had to play here one more time.
They're going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to put his head down, and he's got a good push down to the 5. Should be very close to the first down.
Brought down by 36, Micah Cole.
Inside the 5, okay, the receiver, the official on the far side has the mark. It'll be 1st and goal from the 4.
Yeah, we said it, established the run. I said we might get 15 runs, and what do we have? We're about 8 or 9 runs straight, and I'd be surprised if this is a pass.
8 runs, Joe.
Yep.
Same look for the Red Tornadoes. It's going to be Ayers again. Ayers is going to pick his way, and he's in for a Red Tornado touchdown. So in the first drive of the second half, the Red Tornadoes march 80 yards in just over 4 minutes to take a 20-7 lead here in their District IV Class AA semifinal matchup.
Very impressive drive for Mount Carmel. Like Jose just said, 8 straight, so that was 9 straight runs. And I think there's going to be a lot of that in the second half here with this is who we are, this is our field, try and stop us. And Mansfield really hasn't shown the ability to do that. The only thing that's really held us back is the penalties.
Stellar on to attempt his 3rd PAT of the night. It's a good snap and a good hold. The kick is up, and it is good. So it stretches the Red Tornado lead to 21-7 with 7:59 left in the third quarter.
So for whatever reason, the point after attempt, the kicking down on the scoreboard side of the field seems to be a little better than on the old creature bleacher side of the field. So don't know if that'll be a factor going forward, but it's something to note right now.
Yeah, and I think in a game like this that seems as closely contested as it's been, every point's going to matter. So that's a big thing to call out. Well, we'll see. We got to see how the Panthers are going to respond here.
You know, guys, we have Julian kicking 3 today. Julian in his career right now has 34 extra points. There is no other freshman or sophomore in Mount Carmel area school history to have 34 extra points in a season like that. So it's a good sign for Julian, and he'll be back for 3 more years to do the same.
It's a huge thing. You think about, you take those points for granted sometimes, but at the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes look like they'll be in a good position for the next 3 years to where they can rely on that. Chapman's kickoff. This one's going to stay in bounds. It's going to be fielded at about the 24. That was Micah Kolb. He'll get across the 35 to the 36, and the Panthers will start there.
Witkowski on the stop on special teams. So he had a big game last week, making another tackle here this week.
Yeah, Reed and Tyler Owens really came through last week.
Absolutely.
Now the young guns, we had them at Supper Club last night. All of those young guns: Popo, Witkowski, Burkowski, Krakowski, Stellar, and it was good to have them there because that's our future.
Burley's going to hand it to Garrett David off the left side, and he's got a little bit of room there. He's got some blockers in front of him. He'll pick up the first down. He'll sneak out of bounds at the, see where they mark it, at the 48-yard line. Make it the 49. It'll be 1st and 10 Panthers.
Nice blocking by Mansfield out in front. Had a couple of guys. That's a play they ran quite often in the first half. Hadn't had that much success, but maybe they saw something, made a little adjustment, and he was able to turn the corner there for a nice gain.
A little bit different offensive setup we've seen from the Panthers as of late. 1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left. We're going to get a little motion there. Going to be a motion penalty on the Panthers. It'll cost them 5.
Yeah, this formation, like you said, Jimmy, is a little bit different than really what they've shown. So I don't know if they're not used to it, because it didn't look like 39 was set up properly. He still seemed to be wandering around a little bit in the backfield.
When I was talking to Dan, again, Dan not able to join us tonight or this afternoon. I was talking to him early in the week about what we'd see from North Penn, and he said they're almost exclusively in either double twins or trip split, and this is a little bit different than that. So Burley's going to take it. He's going to go straight back. He's going to throw it. He's got Freeman. It's number 7, Sawyer Freeman, his first catch of the day. He's going to be at the initial yard mark, so he'll pick up a 5.
It is playoff time, and teams, they might save some things for playoffs that they haven't shown. Like you said, it's win or go home, so you have nothing to lose. I know basketball-wise, we every now and then, we try to throw a couple of different looks in at the playoffs, 1 or 2 different out-of-bounds plays that we didn't show all year, and you have to stay after it.
2nd and 10 Panthers, 7:13 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Burley's got 2 to his right, 1 to his left. He sends David in motion, and he's going to hand it to Micah Kolb, and Kolb's got some room. He'll cross midfield and the 45 all the way down to the 44-yard line. It'll be about 2 yards short of the first down, so we'll call it 3rd and 2.
Yeah, nice run by Kolb. Mansfield putting a nice drive together here. We said they have, 5 or 6 skill players that all get a lot of touches, and that really keeps you off balance defensively.
Now more traditional 3 to the left, 1 to the right, and Cobb, Burley's going to keep it, and he fumbles the ball forward into the hands of number 54, Logan Chaplowski. Now they'll lose yardage on the play, but it could have been a lot worse.
Everybody in the backfield that time for Mount Carmel, and I think Burley made the right decision, but by not handing it off and keeping it, but then he made the wrong decision by trying to sort of almost pitched it forward to a lineman. That was dangerous if you ask me, but they'll get away with it, but still it's a punt for Mansfield.
Lazowski is going to punt again. Nice, a little directional that time. He's going to punt it away from Demko. He's going to get a nice bounce, a good job there, all the way down to the 11-yard line. That's where they'll step it off 2 more yards, call it the 13. So the Red Tornadoes will fire it up again.
Yeah, he didn't really handle the snap too well, but he did a nice job keeping his composure, and you said, kicked it away. Mount Carmel's special teams here shown the ability to really break one, so he tried to keep it away, and tough start for Mount Carmel. They're backed up here inside the 20.
And don't forget, here a little bit later in the 3rd quarter, when we have a minute, we'll talk about last week's trivia question and this week's as well. But as it stands, 5:57 left in the 3rd. Mount Carmel on top, 21-7, and with the ball. Widener comes in motion. They're going to hand it to Ayers. Ayers picks his way. He's across the 15, and not much further than that. They'll call him at the 16, give him a gain of 3 for a 2nd and 7.
So Mount Carmel content to run the ball here in the third quarter. Okay, 9 runs on the first series. There's another run there. Mansfield, Jose, is walking those safeties up a little bit, so I'm not sure if we're going to take a shot here. I think Mount Carmel will be okay with 3, 4, 5 yards and a cloud of dust here.
And they certainly come out in the formation for it again. This time it's going to be a handoff to Widener, and Widener's in the alley, and he's tripped up at the 20. Pick up about 4. 3rd and short.
Yeah, nice tackle there by Mansfield. Looked like Widener had some room, but open field tackle there. So 3rd down for Mount Carmel. The fake is open. I don't know if you saw it. Now, Daukus didn't sneak out in front, but where Widener keeps it faking, there's a lot of room here off this side.
So we'll see if the Red Tornadoes opt to take it this time or the next time. They're going to run it again to Widener. And Widener does a nice job picking up the first down. He fights for yardage. He's around the 29-yard line. So this Red Tornado machine will keep moving.
Yeah, again, I'm going to keep saying I think this is what it's going to be here in this half. And if we throw the ball, it might be that little sneaky one to Chapman or the screen pass. But I'm telling you, if they run the ball 4 or 5 yards at a clip here this whole half, I wouldn't be surprised.
And they seem content to do so. Widener comes across, and there you go, Coach. There's the up snap to Daukus. He doesn't go anywhere on that one, though. It's going to be a nice play made by 56, Minnick in the backfield.
I thought we'd see it. Mount Carmel's run it quite a bit the last half of the year. Mansfield certainly was ready for it, though.
Well, guys, just looking at that play itself, Manus McCracken last year, who's a great player for us, only ran the ball 7 times out of that position, and coming into the game, Daukus had 22.
That's a tough play there. That's a high snap to Reisinger. He does a good job crowning it, but it kind of throws off the timing. Hands it into Widener. Widener will get about a yard. Bring a third and 8.
Yeah, big 3rd down here for Mount Carmel. Now, this is the first time in this half where they've had a 3rd and long. They've all been sort of running situations. So we'll see what Coach Dara wants to do here.
It's 11 carries for 92 yards for Widener this afternoon. Johnny Ayers, 15 for 89.
And they're going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to add a couple to that 89. He's going to keep fighting. He's going to get very close to that first down. It looks like he's going to be a little bit short. So it'll bring up 4th down for the Red Tornadoes.
Could be decision time here for Coach Dara. I would think he would go for it. It's like a long one, maybe 2.
Yep, under 3 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Mount Carmel at home with a 14-point lead and all the momentum in the world at this point.
And I don't think Coach Dara thought about that very long.
No.
Nope,
You go with your horse, man.
Yep,
Might
so
as
here
well.
go the Red Tornadoes. He goes to the hard count. We've seen them employ this before. And this time they're going to hand it to Ayers, and Ayers is going to pick it up. Yep, he'll be across the 40. Line to gain was about the 39 and a quarter, so it's more than enough there.
Tough run for Ayers. Sometimes those 2-yard ones are just as important as the 22-yard ones. Big first down pickup.
Absolutely, and I think as the game goes on, again, we've talked about it a little bit. It is chilly. It's a chilly day. This is the first time I think this season it's really felt like the fall or the winter. And so while a lot of these kids play both ways, for the Panthers, the quarterback Burley doesn't. So you're keeping them on the sideline, getting them cold and tight. Meanwhile, Widener's going to take this on the left side, and he's in the open field. He's across the 40. He's in a foot race now. He's going to break one tackle. He's going to try to cut across the field. Garrett David's going to make the touchdown-saving tackle inside the 15 at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, really nice block by John Ayers out in front here to spring Widener, and then the linemen were downfield picking up blocks.
47-yard run for Shane Widener.
And Widener, it's unfair to him, I think, Jose, to say that he's really come on in the second half of the season because he's been efficient all year, but over the last few weeks, he's really picked up a lot of the weight.
You're right.
And Reisinger is going to run the same play. They're going to give it to Brokowski, and Brokowski is able to fall on the football. He mishandles the handoff from Reisinger and is lucky to cover it up.
Yeah, Mount Carmel really lucky there. Brokowski didn't handle the handoff too well, but he was able to fall on it. That's going to hurt his average, Jose.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. He'll make it up somewhere.
Yeah, we'll get him in the open field.
Yep.
Same look for the Red Tornadoes. Widener and Daukus. Ayers is in motion. Reisinger fakes the pitch and he keeps it himself. He's up the middle. He's powering through. He's down to the 5. Inside the 6. We'll see if they give him the 5.
Great job by the line up front there. We had Mikowski out there, Chirac, and the boys really down 3, 4, 5 yards downfield picking up blocks.
They are going to give him the 5, so it'll be 3rd and 1. You see Reisinger's going to come out. Troutman's going to go in. So this will be Ayers in the Wildcat type formation.
We haven't seen that for a couple of weeks. If we get it off.
So he's going to have Troutman to the right. Takes a snap, and he's going to keep it himself. He's running, he's picking his way. He's going to bounce to the outside a little bit, and he's over the line, he's in. So on a 5-yard quarterback keeper out of number 27, the senior John Ayers, the Red Tornadoes are going to go on top 27-7 with 36 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Great drive from Mount Carmel, mixing in all the different backs, Ayers, Widener, Reisinger on the keeper. Really impressive drive from Mount Carmel. The 3rd quarter went by really quickly with all those runs, and now Mount Carmel's opened up a 3-score lead.
Stellar on to attempt the PAT again. Certainly keeping him warm today. Kick is up, and that was going to be wide right. So we got it up in the air, but he's going to miss it. So with 36 seconds left, the Red Tornadoes will stay on top 27-7. And again, like Joe said, the 3rd quarter is kind of moving a little quickly, so I didn't make you all a promise. I want to deliver on that one. So we had a trivia question last week. Again, it was named a WKMC-TV alumni who's a video engineer at Citizens Bank Park, home of the Phillies. The answer to that was Miss Valerie Bendis. Val was nice enough to give members of the TV crew a tour and great seats for a Phillies game this past summer. This week's winner was Eileen Zerby, so congratulations, Eileen. We'll be getting in touch with you this week for your $25 gift certificate. Now, this week's trivia question. And again, you can answer this trivia question through our sponsors, any of our downtown sponsors, which include Academy Sports Center, Archie Shoe Store, Community Pharmacy in Mount Carmel, Family Home Medical, Hollywood Pizza and Bakery, UNB Bank, Star Physical Therapy, Marion Heights, Randall Insurance, K&S, and the Mount Carmel's Farmers Market. This week's question will come right after the kickoff. Chapman does a nice job. That's a high kick. It's going to be fielded by Spencer at the 21. He's going to get to the outside and it'll be thrown out around the 40. So again, this week's question. Name a WKMC-TV alumni who has worked for MTV, Comedy Central, and Nickelodeon. I'll say that again. Name a WKMC-TV alumni who has worked for MTV, Comedy Central, and Nickelodeon. If you know the answer, you have until Thursday at 3 p.m. to visit one of our downtown Mount Carmel sponsors and also Archie Shoe Store or K&S Music. Put your name and phone number along with the correct answer in one of the boxes near the WKMC TV display. And this time, North Penn's right back at it. They hit Freeman on a quick hitter. It's a nice little hook route there for a 1st down. So they're inside Red Tornado territory with 24 seconds left in the 3rd.
I do not know the answer to that trivia question, but it does bring up, now we've had Phillies, MTV, so the WKMC and Mr. McPhee and the job he did, he can really open some doors for you in your future.
Absolutely. The amount of work that they put in week after week is astonishing. And speaking of work, Billy Anderson continues to do work out there as he slams Micah Combe down in the backfield. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. So with 1 quarter to play in this District 4 PIAA semifinal matchup, the Red Tornadoes are on top of North Penn Mansfield 27-7.
The Mount Carmel Area Education Foundation exists to provide a means for alumni, parents, and friends to unite in their efforts to support and strengthen the Mount Carmel Area School District through gifts, trusts, and bequests. The goal of the foundation is to help maintain a meaningful and effective learning culture within the school by providing opportunities in academics, arts, and athletics. If you do choose to donate, you may designate your gift for use in a specific area such as educational initiatives and supplies, television studio, band, library, tennis courts, athletics in general, or for a specific sport, baseball, football, soccer, etc. They may also be given to honor or to memorialize a loved one or team. You can go to www.mca.k12.pa.us for more information.
And we're back here at the Silver Bowl. It's 2nd and 14 after the play by Billy Anderson. And Burley's going to go straight back, and he's going to throw it as far as he can. He's looking for Shed, but he's going to miss him by a country mile there. It'll be 3rd and 14.
And Anderson is spending a lot of time in the Mansfield backfield here this game, and he had some pressure there again. Nobody home for Mansfield on the long pass attempt.
Just to jump back again, this week's trivia question. Last week's trivia question winner was Eileen Zerby. This week's question, name a WKMC TV alumni who's worked for MTV, Comedy Central, and Nickelodeon.
Big 3rd down for Mansfield, Jimmy.
And the Red Tornadoes bring the pressure. Burley's on the move. There's a lot of Red Tornadoes in the area. Down he goes. Mike Hood certainly on site. Nick Troutman initially blew that one up and had him moving. It's a huge loss.
Yeah, perfect time to dial up the blitz there for Mount Carmel. That was a big 3rd down for Mansfield. The Troutman, a couple other guys, a lot of pressure.
You know, wind up being, it's going to be 4th and about 20. So even given the 20-point deficit, Panthers forced into a punt here. Lazowski, we'll see him again. Demko and Burkowski back for Mount Carmel. Snap hit Lazowski right in the chest, and he's going to, it's a short punt off the side of his foot a little bit. We'll see exactly where they say it goes out of bounds. Official continues to move forward. It'll be right at the 45-yard line. So the Red Tornadoes will take over from there.
So we're in the 4th quarter here. Mount Carmel with a 3-score lead. Looking for another one of those long, drawn-out drives and really put this game away.
We'll see how often Coach Dara opts to give it to Ayers. If he wants to go to Widener, let Reisinger keep it. He's got some options here.
Well, you've had 20 straight runs. I wouldn't expect it to change.
And that was going to be Widener on the inside handoff. He's not going to get anywhere this time. Again, emphasis on the fact that I'm saying this time. He certainly had a big day.
Again, Mount Carmel content with 2, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, and Jose will tell you they're adding up here in the 2nd half.
Oh, they're definitely adding up. We're up to 307 right now on the ground, which is a really nice game. It's pretty close to our average.
Reisinger takes the snap, and he's going to keep this one. He's going to throw it. He's going to throw it as far as he can. He's got Widener wide open, and he wasn't able to get enough on it. Widener was 15 yards behind the closest Panther, but given the pressure on Reisinger, he couldn't get enough on it.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure there, a little bit of footing, a little bit of wind. There's a lot of factors. The play took a long time to develop, but it was wide open, but Tommy just couldn't get enough on it.
So one thing Dan and I talk about often with Tommy is you see when he gets in that kind of pressure, the fact that he's a baseball player kind of comes out. He often reminds you of like a shortstop taking a ball in a hole where he just kind of plants that back foot and gets his whole body into that throw. And this time, Bryson is going to send Ayers in motion. Ayers is going to keep it, and he's got some room if he can get into the alley. Number 39, Garrett David, does a nice job of throwing him down at the 47-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and about 2. Sorry, 4th and 2.
Yeah, let's see what Coach Dara wants to do. He looks like he's going to go for it and try to put the game away.
Wildcat again.
Yep, he's going to do it with Reisinger on the sideline. And I think that makes sense. Again, you got a nice lead here. The risk is low, and the ability to salt this one away matters. And it's a high snap. Ayers is going to do what he can, and he's going to not get back to the line. So they're going to turn that one over to the Panthers, again, almost entirely based on the high snap.
Well, you got to admire Coach Dara for going for it there. I mean, I would have went for it. Of course, my only football coaching experience is girls powder puff, and we did punt one time, and that didn't turn out too well. But so Mansfield down 3 scores. I would think if they have a shot here to extend their season, they got to score here.
So we'll see what they go to. They're going to go 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Now they stack the slot receivers to the left before they bring Noah Spencer in motion. And Burley's going to look, and he's only really looking in one direction. He's under pressure again. He goes down. That time it's going to be number 4, Logan Wills, all the way back at the 40-yard line. It'll be a loss of 7.
Yeah, Michael Hood put some pressure off the right side here. Burley had to step up in the pass into the pocket, and Wills cleaned him up.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with this Red Tornado defense. Again, we talked about them needing to be disciplined early, and they were. And now that they know North Penn has to throw the football, they're really pinning their ears back and going after them. And the same look, but this time Burley's going to hand it to Spencer in motion, and Spencer's in a lot of trouble. He takes a big hit from Demko. He's going to lose another 5 yards, and this Red Tornado defense is really starting to feel it.
Yeah, like you said, Jimmy, they know Mansfield is going to have to pass more often than not, and then the line is just, they're pinned back, ready to go, exploding out of their stance. And Mansfield's line's having some trouble. You know, we've seen some blitzes. The linebackers are filling the gaps.
With the
3rd and 22, big
North
play here.
Penn is, with the sacks, North Penn is minus 3 yards in the second half on the ground.
And Burley's going to throw it again, and Hood's got a beat on him already. They set up a screen nicely, and now Micah Cobb's got a little bit of room. Big play by Tyler Owens.
Yeah, someone was over there and in position to make a tackle, and he just slipped down. Because we read the play correctly. I couldn't quite make out the number. But, you know, it's a nice play call, but we had it read. But like I said, it was still can't tell.
Oh, but yeah, nice play by Tyler Owens there. He was the only person between Cobb and the first down mark. Kolb, sorry. But on 4th and 8 here, Burley's under pressure. He's going to go down again. And so just like that, the Red Tornadoes offense is going to be back on the field. And as you watch the replays and all the other great things that WKMC TV is be able to provide, we want to remind you that we wouldn't be able to provide it for you at all were it not for the donation of a lot of individuals, namely Kevin and Catherine Shower, David and Diane Rumble, Patty Ayers and Dina Heisen, John and Diane Dara, Jose and Rose Gonzalo, Penelope Lesko, Harry and Marsha Morgan, Clarence Dietrich, Ken Stabinski, Michael Kuzo, John and Linda Ayers, Karina Lesko, Dr. Matt Kraniak, Joe Stone, Lori Shern, James Cristiano, Rosemary Karicki, Dolores Honecker, John Vitovich, Ed Wiskevich, and Carter. Carter, not sure who you are, but thank you very much, and to everyone else as well.
So that was Widener up the middle for a nice game for Mount Carmel on 1st down. You know, Mansfield had to go for it there. You know, you're
Absolutely.
down 3 scores, 8 minutes and change left, and you know, the Mount Carmel defensive front and linebackers really doing a job this afternoon.
The Red Tornadoes, we'll see it's Murkowski this time. They're going to hand it to him off the left side. He's going to pick up the first down. He's looking for a little bit of movement. He's going to be strung out there, but not before he picks up about 11 or 12, all the way down to the 31-yard line, so call it 11, and a Red Tornado first down.
Yeah, it's late they're midway through the 4th quarter here. Mount Carmel's going to drag it out on the ground. Like we said, this second half, they're going to say, this is who we are. You got to stop us, and Mansfield really hasn't been able to do that.
31-yard line, 1st and 10, Big Red.
7:43 and counting. Reisinger's going to keep that one himself. He fakes the pitch to Widener, but he's going to take a big hit. Going to be hit hard. We'll try to give you a number. It was a good stick. 22, Cameron Andrews. He had the big interception earlier in the game, but not before Reisinger picks up 6.
Yeah, Mount Carmel in no hurry here. Officials timeout.
Looks like the play clock in the end zone is off. Both end zones, that seems to be. So now they'll be monitoring it here.
Falls back in play.
Artless, 2nd and 4. And Reisinger is going to hand it to Widener, and Widener's up the middle, and now he's got one guy to beat, and Widener's going to be in for another Red Tornado touchdown. This one's a 25-yard rush. Widener just tacks on what's been a terrific day for him, and the Red Tornadoes are on top 33-7.
Yeah, really nice job by the offensive line here this afternoon for Mount Carmel for sure. Coach Dare, I thought, has a nice game plan going. We've seen a couple different runs from Reisinger, keeping Mansfield off balance. Mount Carmel just putting this game away here in the fourth quarter.
And it's interesting because we've talked about this all season. You know, the Red Tornadoes, they find themselves in an interesting position for a team. They're so run-based. They're built on running the football. So as Stellar's kick is up and this one is good, so it'll be 34-7 with 7:02 left. The Red Tornadoes are in a position where if they want to take their foot off the gas, so to speak, they end up putting the ball in the air, which seems counterintuitive more often than not.
Yeah, you know, the offense is tricky. It's a lot of misdirection. You never quite know who's going to have the ball. The plays are simple, but like I said, they're well executed. The offensive line, I think, is doing a tremendous job. Herb, Mikowski, Shirok, Mikowski, Anderson, Wills, and those guys are really doing a nice job this afternoon. And we said it here in the second half. Mount Carmel's going to run the football, and they've been able to do it basically at will.
Joe, what they've done, we've run 28 plays in the second half. 27 of them have been on the ground. We are now running for 373 yards. Shane Widener, 14 for 165. John Ayers, 21 for 118. So we have both guys going over 100 yards for a second or third time in their career that they've done it together.
Yeah, very balanced attack for sure, and really great effort all around offensively.
Chapman's going to drive that one. Spencer's going to pick it up at the 10 after a little bit of miscommunication between himself and Bukovic. He'll get out to the 25-yard line. And again, 6:57 left. Panthers down 34-7. So a couple things. Again, you see these great views, and we're excited to bring them to you. And myself, I think I can say safely, myself, Joe, and Jose up here, we have a blast doing it. But really, the reason you get to see these great shots is because of the kids in the TV studio. So give credit tonight to Jake Evans on recording, Darren Rosenstein, Doherty Fesniak, Corin Enos, and Samantha Zatney on the cameras. Jaylee Gonzalez is on the graphics. The production assistant, Aaron Bosler. Replay is Ayana Aguirre. And the master controller, Tyler Barnhart. So big shout out to those guys. And they do a great job week in and week out. They're certainly here on a Saturday afternoon, just like the rest of us.
So Anderson, Hood, Wills, Troutman, all again in the backfield for Mount Carmel.
There's going to be a handoff to Garrett David on the right side. They had a little bit of success with this play earlier, but none here. It's going to be Reed Witkowski, the first guy on the scene. You know, take David down in the backfield. It'll be third and about 12.
Yeah, third and long again for Mansfield. You know, Mount Carmel's really been able to put some pressure on Burley here in the second half. Mount Carmel running some substitutions in here.
And we'll have this game again. We will be on a delayed broadcast on Service Electric Channel 13 this coming Wednesday as usual. But we are delayed yet again. Take a look as Meyer comes in motion. They're going to look for him across the field, but it's a nice play. Oh, and it's caught by Justin Shedd. He's being run down by Burkowski, but he's going to score. So with 5:30 left, Burley and Shedd are going to hook up on a 76-yard touchdown reception to make it 34-13 here.
Yeah, Owens was in good position. I mean, he had him covered. He certainly really wasn't open. It was just a jump ball from Burley, and Shedd just made a nice play on the ball, was able to keep his balance and take it all the way in. So Mansfield not going to go quietly.
No, and they haven't all season. Again, this is a team, the Northern Tier team, is 9-2. They won 8 straight coming into tonight, or this afternoon. So they're certainly in a position right now that they're not accustomed to being in. Going to be a flag on the play. Looked like there was a little motion on the extra point on the Panther side, so we'll move it back and try it again.
5 minutes, 5.5 minutes here, a lot of time. I'm sure we're going to see an onside kick. I would think, or at least the appearance of one coming up here. So you don't know how often do you practice something like that. You would think by this point in the season you'd be prepared for all possibilities, but the ball bounces in funny ways. So the game's not over. Even though I talked about Mount Carmel driving to put it away, you never know. Funny things can happen. 5.5 minutes is a long time.
And the snap and the kick is up, and it is good. So it's 34-14 here on Alexander's extra point, but I think I have, speaking of you never know what's going to happen, that motion penalty that I noticed on the Panthers was actually a Red Tornado movement first. So wound up being against the Red Tornadoes, moved it up about a half a yard, and Alexander drove it through. So we can talk all we, Joe, you're right. 5.5 minutes left. It's 20 points. A lot of things can happen. But in the event Mount Carmel is able to win and that Troy doesn't pull off the upset of the century tonight over in Elysburg at Southern Columbia, from a WKMC TV perspective, we're looking to be live next week against the Tigers at Southern. And you can find access to that live broadcast at redtornadofootball.com. And again, that's assuming that Troy doesn't pull off the upset of the century. I think we may have some things to figure out in the event next week's game is home and how that affects our broadcast.
Yeah, it sort of seems like if we're on the road, we're going to try to do the live streaming broadcast again.
So Alexander looks ready to kick deep, but the Red Tornadoes have 10 guys within 10 yards here, and he's going to drive it deep to Pupo. Pupo is going to take it at about the 13, and he's picking his way. Pupo has shown himself to be an apt returner on punts and kicks. He'll get across the 30 to the 33.
Yeah, Pupo had a nice game last week when one of those newer guys that we talked about getting an opportunity to play. Mount Carmel did expect the onside kick. They had 10 guys up and only one back, but Mansfield opted to kick it deep, so they got to be hoping for a 3 and out.
So I'm wondering, as I look out here, we see Reisinger and Widener still out there. I wonder how much of that is just Coach Darrell wanting to get all these guys some time together. I'm going to hand it to Widener. Widener will go up and over a pile out to the 36-yard line. Pick up 3.
Yeah, Mount Carmel certainly will take their time here. I think you're right. He wants to get some of their guys some carries. 3-score lead still. No sense. It's late in the season. Guys are banged up. No need to get anybody hurt if you don't have to.
So you scan the Red Tornado sideline. You see 29 Daukus is out there on the sideline, that is. Reisinger is going to hand it to Burkowski. Burkowski's got nowhere to go on that one. He's going to lose a yard. Back to the 35. They'll bring up third and 8.
So Jarrett Stewart in there too at offensive tackle.
So we'll see what Coach Dara comes up with here. We're 4 minutes and change left in the game here. 3-score lead. Will he keep it on the ground or will he throw it?
We'll see Reisinger. He's going to hand it to Widener. Widener is going to pick his way, but he doesn't have any room really. He'll get to the 37, so it'll bring up 4th down for the Red Tornadoes. Now, one thing that I noticed on these last couple of plays, and I can't help but think it's related to the play clock being out in the end zone, is that Reisinger, he looks like he's snapping it a little quick. You'd think, I'm curious, in the event he could read the score clock or the play clock, would he be winding it down a little bit more?
Yeah, I agree with you, Jimmy. You just don't know, and I think there's a signal from the official. He puts his hand up when it gets under 5 seconds, if I have that correct. But when you're not looking at the number in the end zone, it's a little bit different. We probably could have shaved a couple of half a minute or so off there again, but with that run on 3rd down, the clock did continue to run. Coach Dara, that bought us about a minute of time here, so we're down to 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, the Red Tornadoes will get a nice punt out of Chapman. It'll be 1st and 10 Panthers from their own 35, down 20 with 3.5 left in this one. We'll have to see again what we talked about before. This week's trivia question: name a WKMC TV alumni who's worked for MTV, Comedy Central, and Nickelodeon. The answer to last week's question was Val Bendis. And the winner was Eileen Zervin. Panthers are going to hand it to Kolb. So the Panthers also seem content's probably the wrong word, but there's not a whole lot of urgency in a handoff down 20 with 3 minutes to play.
No, I thought they'd be slinging it around for sure. You know, 6'5" receiver, a couple other weapons. Unless the read wasn't there, I don't know, but I would expect him pass.
Burley's got 2 receivers left, one was right, and this time he's going to hand it to David, and David's going to be upended. Nice play by Chapman. So again, the clock's going to continue to wind. We're under 3 minutes now, and it's third and about 13.
That doesn't make sense to me. First down run, like a draw or something like that, I could see, but I don't know why. I don't know why you'd run it twice in a row. I mean, that's gonna take a minute off the clock.
So Burley, this time he is going to throw it. He goes straight back. He's going to throw it as far as he can. He's got Shed in one-on-one coverage again. It's incomplete. Great job out there by Pupo. So that will stop the clock with 2:34, but it's now 4th and 13, and North Penn's going to punt this one away.
They are?
4th and 13 for the Panthers.
Yeah, Lazowski.
Okay, I don't get it. I mean, this is the season here, but I guess. Yeah.
Well, it does seem like we'll get one more week of Red Tornado football at least, which means that's another week of Supper Club. So as I mentioned Supper Club earlier, as we see Lazowski's going to punt that one in the direction of Burkowski, and the Red Tornadoes are going to get out of the way. Burkowski picks it up, actually. He'll pick up a yard or 2 on that one. But, yep, so Supper Club, it gives the community a chance to interact with different players, cheerleaders, and band members, as well as get some information from the coaching staff on the upcoming game. So if that piques your interest, you'll want to make your way to the back room at Matucci's Willow Street Cafe in Mount Carmel at 6:15 p.m. every Thursday night of the football season for great food and great conversation.
So I was a little surprised Mansfield opted the punt there. I mean, they thought for sure they'd at least throw one up, see what happens.
So we see some changes for the Red Tornadoes now. Pupo's in there, number 9 Tyler Owens in there, and he'll take the sweep to the right side. He'll pick his way. He's going to go down. It looks like, for all intents and purposes, that tackle's made by number 44 Chapman. He ran into Chapman and went back a few yards. So 2:08 left in this one. The Red Tornadoes can probably start preparing for Southern next week.
I think at this point it might be safe to say they can start thinking about Southern Columbia next week. You know, we talked about it before the game, like that was going to be a factor. Like you got to win this game first, and I think Mount Carmel really came out, especially in the second half here, and said, "All right, you know, let's just take care of business."
Reisinger's going to hand it to Pupo, that is, and Pupo's going to run right into number 99, Meyer. Haven't said his name a whole lot in the second half, but he's still making plays out there on defense. 125 and counting. Again, just a couple of things to mention here. Sponsors that always make all of this happen for us: Academy Sports Center, Archie Shoe Store, and Coltmont Community Pharmacy in Mount Carmel, Family Home Medical, Hollywood Pizza and Bakery, K&S Music, Impact Zionist, Mount Carmel Farmers Market in Atlas there. It's UNB Bank in Mount Carmel, New Media, and Shamokin Dam. Star Physical Therapy and Fitness, Marion Heights, and Verano Insurance in Mount Carmel and Shamokin. Thank you to all of you who make this possible. Steller is going to keep that one himself. Steller in for Reisinger. He'll pick up about 3, so it'll bring up 4th and 9 for the Red Tornadoes with 42 seconds and counting.
Yeah, Mount Carmel on their way to an appearance in the district championship game again. Everybody in the world's anticipating a rematch from earlier in the season with Southern Columbia. So, and like you said, unless Troy pulls off a major upset, which no one's really predicting, I guess, at this point. But Mount Carmel will get another shot at Southern Columbia, and I think that's really what they envisioned here over the last 2 months, and that's really what they want.
Yep. So Coach Dara is going to call a timeout there, and really that timeout was just to use up as much of the clock as possible. That's all it was, and I know we talk about it. We've had the opportunity to talk about it a lot this season because the Red Tornadoes have been in this position quite often, but when you start shuffling guys in and out, the one place that gets a little confusing sometimes is special teams.
Yeah, you just want to make sure you have 11 guys on the field and everybody in the right position. You know, like we said, it's the end of the year. Guys are banged up, and you know, special team assignments, you just no harm in making sure here.
Might be Chapman punting to Spencer here. It's a low snap. Chapman does a nice job fielding. He gets a good punt off. Spencer's going to take a fair catch at the 22-yard line. So with 11.9 seconds left, Panthers will come out and play out the string. What you talk about next week, one thing that we've been talking about for the last few weeks, really, and I'll give anybody who's listening a little heads up as to how we might open the broadcast next week. It's about expectations. And I think at the beginning of the season, anything short of that district championship game was going to be a little underwhelming for this Red Tornado team. They have the talent, they have the ability. So to be able to come out here and do exactly what they set out to do is a huge success. And as the clock's going to hit 0 here, that's going to do it at the Silver Bowl. So by the count of 34-14, the Red Tornadoes are going to march on to what many felt was the inevitable District IV Class AA Championship rematch from last year with likely the Southern Tigers. Again, Mount Carmel dispatching North Penn Mansfield Panthers 34-14 on the backs of their running game. Shane Widener, huge day. John Ayers, huge day as usual. And the Red Tornado defense, again, giving up 14, which, while it may sound like a lot in comparison to what they've done, that brings the grand total to 40 over their last 7-game win streak.
Yeah, absolutely. Mansfield got one score at the end of the first half, and then a long one there as time was ticking down here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So, Jose, what do you have for us in terms of stats here? We put some numbers to what we saw.
For North Penn Mansfield, 35 rushes for 30 yards, so they were negative in the second half. 9 of 15 passing for 129, the big 76-yarder. Obviously the big gainer there. 159 yards of total offense and only 8 first downs for Mount Carmel. We ended up with 55 rushing plays for 380 yards on the ground. 1 of 8 passing for 17 yards, 397 yards of total offense, 20 first downs. Obviously, Shane Widener, you guys mentioned, 16 carries for 171 yards. Johnny Ayers, 21 carries for 118 yards. Both of those guys doing it, I think, the first time since last year in the same game, having 100 yards. But another thing that we did today, we win 10, we go to 10-2. This makes the 25th team in Mount Carmel's 126-year history to win 10 games in a season.
Wow.
It also gives John Dara, his first 10-win season, now at 10-2. So a fine job by everybody. It's sort of what we expected, but not how we expected it today, I think. And that doesn't matter. The bottom line is the W, and we get to do what we wished for, and that is to play Southern next week over in the valley over there for the district championship, provided Troy doesn't do what you guys mentioned tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim. The numbers tell the story, I think. Mount Carmel dominant, especially on the ground, almost 400 yards rushing. Mansfield, couldn't get a whole lot going offensively except for really the long play. I thought Mount Carmel up front really strong today, both on offense and defensive side. And, the line and those guys, some of them play one way and some of them play both ways. I thought they were dominant, and I thought it was really a big difference in the game for sure.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Bill Anderson and Chile, Colin Herb, really just dominated the game early and dominated throughout the game. And the other thing that I found interesting today, and I'm a number idiot, I guess, but Burley has thrown for 1,700 or 1,800 yards. He is the third brother in succession up there who have played quarterback for North Penn. And between the three of them, they all had 2 years as starters, have thrown for almost 12,000 yards.
Wow.
So they've done a really good job up there, and this kid certainly acquitted himself quite well. Didn't get the help today up front, and obviously we just dominated up front, and that made the difference.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is you talk about the numbers, and And I'm with you, Jose. Every week when we're looking at these stats and preparing, I think, we could come out here and do numbers radio, which is nobody likes to hear it, but there's always, they always tell a story. And I think the fact that Mount Carmel's 397 yards of offense is actually going to drop their season average a little bit speaks a lot to how efficient that offense has been, and also the fact that they gave up 14 points here today. That's almost half of what they've given up total in the last 6 weeks. So it's kind of funny because those numbers are so overwhelming, and yet the offense and defense has been so strong.
Jim, the thing that makes it interesting with the numbers, you go through a regular season, you play a lot of teams that you're supposed to beat, and you pad your numbers, not pad, but are able to accomplish things. We're in a playoffs now. We're in a district semifinal, and you can't expect to do those things every week against good teams. This team didn't become 9-2 by not being good. So, that the numbers fell off a little bit. Yeah, we went from 404 to 397. We're messing that average up. But again, and I guess another thing that we didn't mention, or maybe I did, we went over 400 points for the season, and there have only been 12 teams that have done that in our history, too. Wow. So this team is leaving its mark, so to speak, on our program, and this is all that they could hope for, and next year they can make one of the biggest marks that we've had in this program for a long time.
Yep. So I think that'll probably do it here for us at the Silver Bowl. We'll get out of here. Again, the Red Tornadoes victorious in this District 4 Class AA semifinal matchup against the North Penn Panthers. Mount Carmel rolls on 34-14, setting up what most of us believe was always an inevitable District 4 Class AA championship game between the Red Tornadoes and the Southern Columbia Tigers. So we're here. Again, we have our good friend Joe Verano, Jose Gonzalo. Dan not able to join us this week, but I'm Jim Lesko, and we hope that you're going to join us next week.